Well, hello and welcome. My name is Velma. You can connect with me at velmanolds.com. This is all about your leadership chat. What does that mean? You get to listen in on valuable insights from valuable leaders just like you. I want to encourage you to go ahead and subscribe so that you never miss another episode. And if this is of value to you, please share the nuggets that you're going to take away from all these great leaders. Please give a big welcome to my special guest and your valuable leader, Wendy Marman. Wendy, welcome to your leadership chat.
Well, thank you, Velma. It is just a privilege to be here. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's so good to have you. And so for those that are listening in, when they listen, we have to tell them that I'm in the United States, Florida, and it is at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And you are in, go ahead.
I'm in Canberra, Australia, and it's 8 a.m. on the following morning.
So we're covering 2 days in one seating here.
Absolutely.
I love it. And I'm amazed and just thrilled that technology, allows us to connect like this. I mean, we know each other through the John Maxwell team, but still we're able to reconnect and have these kinds of leadership chats. So I'm super excited.
And you may notice I'm wearing a bit more because it's a bit cold down here. We're in the last month of winter down here, and it was freezing this morning. So
yeah, you're like bundled up, and I'm like, suntan, Florida.
That's right.
Okay, well, listen, let's kick things off. And Wendy, share with the listeners a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay. Well, I'm Wendy Marman, and I'm a coach, trainer, and I'm an author from Australia. I've written the book Ready, Set, Start, because in my coaching and training, I found that people didn't know who they were or where they were going or why. And the main way that showed up was they couldn't define success for themselves. They were trying to live up to somebody else's version of success and continually failing because it wasn't them. It wasn't in alignment with who they were. It wasn't around what was important to them. And I'd also seen too many people climb the corporate ladder, as I said, to find it was on the wrong wall. And they'd given up their health and they'd given up their relationships, and they got to the end and it wasn't worth it. So I coach and I train specifically to help people start well by knowing who they are and then building their life in alignment to what's important to them.
Wow, that's awesome. And then you're a mother and a wife, and I mean, you're a woman of faith, and so
all of those things.
Yeah, we're like sisters here.
Yeah, Patrick and I have been married 45 years. We have 4 grown children and 7 grandchildren.
Wow.
And I'll be spending next week taking 2 of my grandkids skiing. So
wow. I mean, congratulations. You don't hear those kinds of stories and that type of loyalty and love. So you don't hear that much, like we you don't hear that these days. So just congratulations. It's
thank you.
Wonderful legacy and story you got there.
Thank you. Yeah, I must admit that's part of what's important for me. So knowing what's important, which is the relationships, means I work at it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you do have to work at them, right?
Absolutely.
It's probably harder work than, the work you do for a career. It's those relationships and working hard at them.
It gets easier. It gets easier once when you know your why, you'll find your how. That's what I like to say.
Oh, love that. That's a bomb. Drop the mic. When you know your why, you find your how. Yeah. Man, somebody needs to tweet that and put Wendy's name next to it. Okay, well, let's start off. Let me ask my first question. And you know that the show, Your Leadership Chat, is really an opportunity for me to sit down with other leaders and just have a cup of coffee or tea or anything safe to drink on social media. But the idea, is just to kind of share about people that have made such a valuable impact in their life and then how they're making a valuable impact. And so for me, that type of person is the valuable leader. I call them the valuable leader because you would say, Velma, Wendy wouldn't be who she is today without this person in my life. This is the kind of impact, it's one thing to inspire, but it's another thing to take inspiration and make it impactful. So I
Yes.
always like to hone in on that. So could you share with us who is a valuable leader in your life and why would you say that?
Well, I think the most valuable leader in my life was my mother. Now, she's not around anymore,
Mhm.
but Mum was one of the first women orthopedic surgeons in Australia.
Wow.
But she had at that time to train in Edinburgh in Scotland. They had to
Mhm.
go over to Scotland to complete their fellowship.
Right.
And when she came back, it was a real boys' club here and they wouldn't let her practice.
Mm.
So, one, she used her intellect, and two, when she couldn't get into a hospital to practice, she then went into private practice with my father. But what she did is she was the leader. She became the commissioner of the Girl Guides. She looked for other ways and other organizations. She still lived what was important. She still built positive relationships.
Mhm.
She still built into us, even though she'd had that brick wall that she'd run into,
Mhm.
she kept going and started again. And I think that is the essence of what my coaching is now, is
Mm.
it's exactly what Mum's taught me. When you know you're important,
Yeah.
even when you hit a brick wall, you can start again.
Yeah. Yeah. No, how that's so beautiful. So your mom is really that foundational, valuable leader. And I noticed in the book, your book that we talked about, Ready, Set, Start, that you dedicated it to your mom.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. And I love how you say mum, because that's, I'm originally from the islands of the Bahamas. And so we are originally British in that essence, but we always say mum, or mummy versus, something. So it's I can pick that up. And I love that about you too, and your culture.
Yeah. So, yeah, she was just really profound. And her mother too. I mean,
Oh my
she'd
God.
was one of the first women at
Mhm.
Sydney University. So
Right.
I come from a line of women that
Right.
got out there and did things that were a bit adventurous,
Mhm.
that encouraged me to be in it, to make life an adventure, but
Right.
also to live my values. And I
Right.
think having that possibility spirit, the
Mm.
curiosity of what may be, and yet the strong values to anchor you and keep you safe and in direction.
Mhm.
They are the combinations that are part of any real leadership journey. So,
Yeah. Oh, and I love the combination of the word positive spirit. That I've never heard it said like that before, but it's very impactful in what you're saying as a quality for a true leader is to have that positive spirit, that their presence just it speaks to the positivity of they look at obstacles as opportunities. And that's what it sounds
yeah.
like your mom did. It's
Mm.
like I hit a brick wall, but you know what? I don't stop there. I just back up and I find a different route for my journey to
Yeah.
move forward. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
There's sometimes you can push and break down brick walls,
Yeah, yeah,
but that has its cost too. But there's
right,
other times when no, your best route is to go under, over, around, or jump over somewhere,
right,
anywhere
right.
else, or
Oh
just to
my.
change direction. So I think that's why the subtitle of my book is what it is: Navigate Your Life.
Mm-hmm.
Because even when you fly, and I've flown to America lots of times,
Yep.
and before everything happened years and years ago, I even got to go up to a cockpit once, and you could see them take hold of the controls because there was a storm cloud ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So they would go off automatic pilot and they would reroute the plane
Wow.
just gently to go round the storm cloud. They didn't fly through it.
Right.
They went round it. And sometimes life is like that. There's things in our life that it's stupid to go straight ahead, you've got a 3-step plan and you're going to do it no matter what. No,
Mm-hmm.
navigate life, connect with the environment you're in.
Yeah.
And that's why you navigate and you course correct.
Yeah.
I do a lot of sailing or have in the past. And when you're sailing into the wind, you can't. You
Yeah.
have to get forward, you go like this.
Yeah.
And so I think people don't realize that success, whatever that means for you,
Right.
or leadership, you can have that sort of a journey, but that requires certain navigation skills.
Yeah.
And that's I love it because it's where the principle hits the reality,
Mm.
and yet you're still in control to take it the direction you want to go. So
Yeah.
the direction hasn't changed,
Right.
but the individual way you're facing at the moment may have changed,
Mhm.
but it's all in helping you get where you need to go.
Wow, that's so well said. And as you were just speaking to that, I was imagining on that journey. You know that the company I have is Leaders Pathway, and that's the name of the company. And it's because I believe that every leader has their own pathway. There's not one set way of doing it. You know, to be a great leader, you have to do this, this, and this. Well, you know, there's certain foundational principles
Mm.
and just the attributes that you need to have. But apart from that, how you get to where you're going on your journey of leadership is different for everyone. We navigate it. I love that word, navigating your success. That's so well said, and it's so true, because you
Mm.
get to choose. And
Yeah.
you know, and how experiences that happened to your mom, you know, as she was going through, it happened differently for others in that same position. Everybody experiences things differently. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I
But
love.
most of us have hit roadblocks.
Yeah. Hmm.
And sometimes, that didn't work before, so you don't want to get up again.
Yeah.
And persistence is part of it. But when you fall down, if there's an accident in first aid, they say often leave the person where they are unless it's more dangerous.
Yeah.
I do an exercise in one of my workshops, and I get people to say to sit on the floor, they've fallen down.
Right.
And then I ask them, what do they do when they've fallen down? They say, get up. And I say, yes, but not straight away.
Yeah.
Look, is it safe to get up here?
Mm.
Do I need to get up somewhere else?
Mhm.
What did I learn from falling down? Before I get up, can I learn something? So when I get up next time, I'm in a better starting point.
Wow. Yeah. No, I
Because
love
often
that.
we're just thinking that automatic reaction, but then
Sure.
you've learned nothing.
Wow. That's such a great analogy too. So, and I love how you're, you know, sharing with us examples and helping us to see the picture. I see the picture. I see it happening as you speak to it. So that's great. Well, I'm excited that it's your mom and the legacy that she has left with you, and it's come full circle because now you're paying it forward. So, of course, you know, my next question kind of hinges on that. And that is, now that you know what it takes to be a valuable leader, how is Wendy paying that forward? How do you impact others so that they could see their value as a leader?
Well, I suppose that's why I've done what I've done in terms of coaching and training.
Yeah.
And I just started when I went to the John Maxwell workshop from
Right.
that specific challenge point of view.
Right.
But what really touched my heart was when my daughter sent me a card and told me how I'd impacted her life.
Wow.
And she's gone on and done things, and she's now a big player on the stage in the climate world.
Yeah.
And so it's living what I'm talking about is
Mhm.
primarily how I do it.
Mhm.
But then it's whether it's one-on-one, I've got somebody I'm coaching at the moment, and that's something we keep coming back to. I've created a workshop. I've spoken about it. The details are in one of the chapters where you create your own star, the direction that guides you, what is most important in your life.
Mhm.
So in my coaching, in my workshops, in my training, in my writing, all of these are ways that I seek to pass it on.
Right.
But I think it's not always just how big the workshop is, it's who are the key people, because I like to invest in people who will then invest in others. And sometimes that's families. We've done a lot of, over COVID, we did a lot of free stuff for families where some of these principles were in there just to help families get through COVID. Well, managing competing priorities is one of the top skills needed today. Whether you're a leader or whether you're don't see yourself as a leader,
Sure.
because every day that's what we have to do. And it's getting in line with who you are, and
Right.
then others and the environment, that you can do that. And so many people try to manage competing priorities, but they don't know who and what they are and what they stand for. So I think that's the big thing. I'm trying to help that, whether it's talking to my grandkids, or whether it's talking to a full packed workshop, or whether it's writing a blog
Right.
or something like that. I'm trying to get that idea that live in alignment to who you are, set your direction.
Right.
You don't have to see clearly the end point, but when you know the direction you're going, that you become the person who can live your life.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about faking it till you make it. I am a non-fake it person. Absolutely.
Right.
I do
Right.
not think you don't fake it.
Right.
But what you do is you find the true you live in alignment with that. And once you're in alignment, it doesn't matter which direction you're facing. You can still, as I said, like when you're sailing, head in the right direction and do what you need to do.
Yeah.
And that, and it's that authenticity that people want to follow, because you're not a leader unless somebody's following.
Yeah.
You
Oh, absolutely.
can teach, but I think people love authenticity. And that when you know who you are, they want to do that too. So,
and it's so great that you're starting at something which it sounds so simple, that you just need to know who you are, but because you spend all your time with yourself, and yet people feel like they don't know who they are. And I love that section, when you talked about, start looking in the mirror. You were talking about taking a look into the mirror, because until you have self-awareness, and I know for me, until I became self-aware, I didn't realize that I was kind of stumbling all over my leadership, journey. I didn't understand. And as many times as people would tell me, it wasn't, someone telling you versus you realizing, getting that aha, realizing it, and then being able to make the change. It's about that, first you've got to have self-awareness, and then you got to have self-acceptance. And I think that's a step people miss. You've got to accept it, and then you can move to self-development. But I loved your story there about how it doesn't matter if it's one person or if it's a crowd of a workshop full of people. You're making a difference to help people who want to invest. So you're investing in people. I think you said it, investing in people who want to invest in others. That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. I don't know how you're going to top this one, because my question is now, you've given us, to me, I've gotten some, two great big takeaways just right there in what we were talking about earlier. But when folks listen, we don't know where they are in their journey and what's going on. So what I'd love to ask you to do is to share a big takeaway, something that you would say, if I could speak to the listeners today, for those right there, and this is your opportunity, what's one big thing that you would say to them that could help them become valuable leaders in their own lives? What would that be?
It doesn't matter where you are now, however good, bad, or ugly, or beautiful that is. You start where you are, and you can start. And you can start well, so you can end well.
Yeah.
The decision is yours.
Oh, wow. Start where you are. Yeah.
Because so many people want to think, oh, look, everybody else can do that. They're all at the starting line, but I'm not even at the starting line yet. And so my book is Ready, Set, Start. And part of it was written to help people that are nowhere near the starting line, perhaps to get to the starting line. And those that are at what people perceive as the starting line, to actually climb and build a life based on what is true and right and what they want to be at the end of that life, not just chasing somebody else's goal that will destroy them. So I think I want to tell you, even if you're in the darkest place or things are not good, you can start again, and you can start well. in your call. You don't have to stay where you are,
Yeah.
and you can be a leader. You may have thought that's in the past, or that's not for me, it's for somebody else. But no,
Right.
it's for you.
Right.
But you react with people every day, and every interaction you're either influencing or being influenced.
Mm. Oh,
And every time you influence, you are leading.
yes.
So let's make sure that it's in the direction you want to go.
Right. Oh man, that's a good one. You know, you are either influencing or you're being influenced. That's a mic, drop the mic moment right there. But I mean, it's so true because and you get to choose, and it's not that. And what I love about that statement that you're either influencing or you're being influenced is the fact that leaders are also followers. I mean, you can be the leader for this particular thing and you're influencing others to go in this direction. But then you can then, as a leader yourself, follow someone else's, direction or vision. And it speaks volumes. It reminds me of, I'm a big bird watcher, so I got a plug for the birds. And it just reminds me of how the V formation of how the birds fly in V formation and how they shift back. And it's not like the one that's in front is always, that particular leader. He'll shift back. And so another one will shift up, and they share the leadership position to help each other and to keep that same, to navigate their course, your word navigate, but then to stay in that pattern and at that same level of speed. So it's just awesome. Like you said, you just start where you are, and you influence or you're being influenced.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. I know, I want to write it down,
Very
everybody
good.
write that down. If you're listening in, write that down. Okay, cool. That's awesome. Oh, Wendy, thank you. Yeah, no. Now you know that I always want to give my guests an opportunity to share how folks could connect with them or learn more about them or follow them, or and in your case, hey, get the book, get ready, set, and start. So start now and get the book, because it's all about navigating your success. And love the compass. This is not, I was telling Wendy before we started, just kind of warn you guys, this is not a 5-minute read. Okay. This is homework in this book. And I love it. I was like, oh my God, I got to write down. She's reflect on what you just discovered. I'm like, serious? I got work to do. So yeah, so the teacher in you definitely came out in the book, which is beautiful. I think that knowledge is knowing what to do, but wisdom is applying what you know to do. And until you apply something, you truly don't, like they said, when you learn something, when you get knowledge, you get, you get this satisfaction that something. But when you apply the knowledge and it becomes wisdom and you apply it, you get this level of fulfillment. It's like you fill yourself up. It's totally different than just satisfaction. I know, okay, satisfied, I know how to do it. But when you do it, it actually fulfills you. And I think that's what your book does. But okay, so this is your time. So tell our listeners how they can connect with Wendy, learn more about you and what you do.
Well, you can connect with me on LinkedIn, or you can connect with me on Facebook.
Right.
And you can, if you want to, you can email me. I also have my website, wendymarman.com.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you spell the Marman correctly, Marman,
Right.
you should be able to find that.
Right.
And my email's wendy@wendymarman.com. So it's all very easy. They're probably the best ways to connect with me. You can, all of those details are actually in the book.
Yes.
I have my contact details at the back. I do one-on-one coaching. I do team coaching. I do workshops. And I basically do what is needed to be done for the group. Plus, I'm a speaker, so I can speak at your event and talk about things. I love just sharing with people in a way that connects to the heart. Because if you don't, as you said, if you if you know about something, but it doesn't change your life, there's no doing, do you really know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's a
And I
great question.
right.
Do you really know?
Yeah.
Oh,
I remember somebody told me once, if you know and don't do, you don't know.
yeah,
And
that's beautiful.
and I okay. You know about, but
Mhm.
that's not the same as knowing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Oh, love it.
before I met you, Velma, I knew about Velma not.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I met you, I now know you.
Mm,
There's a difference. There's now a relationship there.
yeah.
And it's that power of relationship in our lives and
Mhm.
the connection. To me, part of success is connection, whether it's connection to you,
Mhm.
to others, to your dreams.
Right.
Connection is key.
Yeah.
And so I
Mm.
would love people who are interested to be able to connect with me on any of those things and contact me and let me know how I can help them. And I would certainly love, feedback on the book, or you can go, I mean, it's Barnes and Noble, Amazon, all of the retailers have it. So you can connect in there and write once you've read it, if you can write a
Review?
what
Yeah.
review, that's one,
Ah,
testimonial or review, that would be wonderful.
yeah.
From my point of view, that's how you could really bless me. But
Okay.
I'd love to hear how I can bless you too.
Okay. All right. So we're going to make sure we put your website in here for sure. Anyone, they can snap it or go to
Yeah.
it. But yeah, Wendy Marman, MARMAN.com. So we'll be sure to put that in there. I just want to thank you so much for getting up so early and having a cup of coffee with me. And now you can go have breakfast the next day in your from where I'm at, to have breakfast with Patrick and your wonderful husband of 45 years. But thank you so
Yeah.
much. I really appreciate you wanting to be on your leadership chat.
Well, thank you. And while I was given this cup by some Canadian friends, so I may not be quite with you in the right country, but I'm in the right continent with my coffee.
All right, that's wonderful. Okay, great. Thank you again. Hey, thanks so much for watching another episode of Your Leadership Chat. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button here and tap that bell icon so that you never miss another episode. I hope too that you'll give us a thumbs up on the video for a like. And then if you feel led, please share the video with those who need to see it. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Your Leadership Chat. Bye for now.